Hi everyone, I'm Seanamomsen and I'm back quicker than ever before. I'm here to do a video that I've been inspired to do by actually finding out that the audience that watches me, so you all, watch this person as well, the way that the analytics works. So this person has made a lot of videos and still is making a lot of videos. I can't remember their name for the life of me, but I will be crediting their details in the description box because I've got a few videos that have been inspired, which I've just taken the title to so I can comment on. So without further ado, what today's video is going to be on is, are you actually transgender? So are you transgender or are you a cross-dresser? Because sometimes within society, within blah 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 blah, a lot of people get the two mixed up where they think they might be trans, and that's not even to say that the individual themselves that is exploring their identity. That's to say with outsiders as well, because some outsiders think that trans women, trans men are basically, a lot of cross-dressers are basically men dressing up as women. So yeah, here to debunk that and offer advice to people that are exploring their gender identity. So I think, and I will make a separate video on this, the way I found I was trans was by not knowing actually what trans was at the time. I had explored androgyny. I was always labelled a girl without even identifying as one. And I basically kind of found out what trans was just through like exploring like porn and stuff, I think, and like watching a lot of YouTube videos of just like many LGBTQIA members out there. So yeah, I never thought twice about it. If anything, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't be that. I don't want to be that. I want to be normal. So amongst like performing as a male, I was trying to experiment with being alternative, which was me as well. So I was experimenting with being more alternative, getting into alt music and using that as an excuse to start implementing more feminine aspects into my wardrobe. So feminine clothing, makeup, growing my hair out in such a way to actually eventually grow out all my hair. So why I'm talking about this and trying to segue this into basically this topic is that I think it's very important to experiment and not necessarily label yourself. If you, especially at the very beginning, you just need to just experiment with your appearance, with who you are, what you are about. I chose to still be my dead name whilst experimenting and finding myself. I didn't have a gender at that time. I was just coasting between the two. Some days I'd feel more manly or present more male. I never felt like a man ever. I just presented more male, and that because that was what was expected of me. So basically, one of the telltale signs is that you don't identify as a man. That doesn't resonate with you, regardless of what you look like. If you're clockable or what, you don't identify with that. That doesn't resonate with you, and you know fully well that you're a woman and that you were always meant to be. So you can match what you feel on the inside to the outside with help of surgery, clothing, makeup, whatever to be deemed more as a passing female versus just a man in a wig. So that kind of stumbles upon cross-dressing. There are so many fetishes with regards to cross-dressing that unfortunately trans women get a bad rep by cross-dressers being so prevalent within that, and just basically, yeah, not ruining it per se, but just really tarnishing and taking away from the legitimacy of trans women. And I don't think these cross-dressers are intentionally doing that. It just so happens because they are presenting sometimes they just look really, really clockable and just look like they've put barely any effort into like looking female, shall I say, in a nice way. So that's what the market is there. There's a market for that, for like clocky men that cross-dress into women. I don't know why that's a thing of like finding that attractive, to each their own, but I've never understood it. But I'm not going to say that's wrong. Again, to each their own. So what I will say is that you really, really need to hone in on what you identify as. Yes, these accessories, if you will help you achieve a certain look, but does it go further than that? Does that, like, when you remove all that and you just basically a blank canvas, what do you identify as when you're a blank canvas? Do you still feel like a woman? Do these items that you put on, these clothes, the makeup, does that actually make you feel like a woman? Or do you feel like you're playing dress up, like it's like an exciting thing, that like an alter ego? Does it feel like an alter ego, or is that alter ego actually you, and were you always meant to be that 24/7? So you should really think about that. And with trans people in general, they always have had an inkling all their life. Especially for me, I've always looked naturally female. No hormones yet, still. UK crap needs to hurry their things along, but I'm just glad it's free. So I've always been confused as a girl. I've been told I look like a woman from toddler, from baby stages, all the way up until today, basically. Even when I was in secondary school, had a mustache and everything, really tried hard to present masculine. And this guy said to me, hello, girl that looks like guy, girl that looks like a boy, because of my mustache and trying to appear masculine with the school uniform that was not flattering at all. So yeah, so that's how you should know that there is difference, that you should always know. And that's not to say that basically, oh, other people have to tell you, or other people have to be like, you look like this, you look like that. That's not the message, that's not the point. You should always know that there's something different. I've always knew that I didn't really resonate with being called a boy. I didn't know at the time what I was. I think I was very reluctant to give in to being a girl, because all my life I was told, so are you this, are you that, blah 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 blah. Even in like later years, when I truly found myself, no, not found myself, but really explored myself and was comfortable with presenting more and more female, a lot of my friends at the time, jokingly, which I accept because it's banter, lol, would be like, but this is when I was pretending fully femme but didn't still identify as Shauna or a girl. They would always be like, so Shauna, when you're coming out as trans? And I was like, I don't know, probably not, lol, like that's not me. And I'd be like, 2019 was the year, it was the year, I'm a woman, I am a woman. So yeah, it's just madness. So basically, if you're transgender, it is your identity, that is just who you are. If you're a cross-dresser, you like switching between the two. It's basically an alter ego, it's a performative self-expression art, kind of like drag, but not drag, because drag queens are multifaceted, whereas a cross-dresser is mainly for, like, from what I can gather, for like the thrill, for like the gender bending, for like just the excitement of like living as a cross-dresser in the world and navigating through the other sex. Because I've seen some women, not women, rid myself, I've seen some cross-dressers going out and about in public on YouTube, recording themselves like, oh, me being cross-dresser outside, blah 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 blah. I think it's more of like a thrill aspect, as well as obviously the fetish. But I'm here to say that being a cross-dresser doesn't equate to being transgender. trans women, for all those horny men out there and uneducated people, transgender women or men are not cross-dressers. The confusion lies where trans people transition and start wearing those clothes, but there's so much more to just wearing certain clothes and changing your appearance. It's a lot more deeper, whereas cross-dressing doesn't have that deep value, and it just basically stops with the appearance. Basically, it doesn't transcend to who they are, what they identify as, etc, etc. So yes, so if you're transgender, it's a lot more deeper. It's a lot more deeper. If you're a cross-dresser, it's just mainly artificial, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's self-expression and having healthy practices of certain fetishes, which I fully implore for anyone to do, to discover themselves, because that's what life is all about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I covered everything I kind of wanted to say, but if I left anything out, please let me know. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please follow me on Instagram, and all the other social medias will be linked below. And yeah, give me some suggestions on what to record next. Let me know. Just let me know. Support me. Share this video. Bye.